Welcome, guys. So, today, in the world of economics, finances, and education, one crucial thing that goes around is, does education really matter when it comes to finances? Is there a correlation? Or there are two distinct futures? One grants you the power of an intellectual, the other one, financial freedom. So, what will you choose? Will you choose elevation or cash? Oh, sorry, or money. Cash. And topics have been going around about whether to pursue education to the highest possible level. Second hand, there's financial independence. So here in Kenya, debate has been going around whether formal education still holds meaning to itself. Is there a need for one to undergo undergraduate studies, post-diploma, master's, PhD, while their own personal life, finances, family are in shambles? No financial growth since undergraduate to PhD. There's not much evidence to it. So it begs the question, does having certified academic criteria, basic academic criteria of higher education, degree, guarantee one financial freedom, or is it a milestone towards financial freedom? Are they mutually exclusive? My theory and belief is that education is a all separate discipline of life, separate from the finances, and they can be interdependent, but they are separate entity. Formally, and mostly in African, historically, people went to education to better their life, to increase their livelihood. Education itself stood as a means towards financial realization, but not the end of financial freedom. And this is one thing that we miss in our education system. There's no financial literacy in our education system, from primary level, secondary, to university, or pre-1980s, all levels, there are no financial literacy. The only thing close to financial literacy which was there was common units, such as development studies, communication skills, how to sell, but those were wiped out. So any undergraduate remains with basic knowledge of what they studied for, hoping to utilize it to get finances and career development. But there's a thin line between having attained your intellectual purpose and realizing your financial freedom. As a young Kenyan, I come to realize there's a thin line, and the ecstasy of finishing, graduating, and then landing your dream job, to most is a fantasy. Except for a few, probably by luck, determination, right connection, and network, and probably godfathers, they've been able to land a particular lucrative job which puts them in a financial freedom as per their age period. But learning financial literacy is a whole level that one needs to undertake, either through mentorship, reading non-books on the same, and applying the practical of it rather than the theory. So what next will you do when you don't have the muscles, the finances, or a way to get apprenticeship to be taught financial literacy? And up to now, very few youth have been able to realize their financial freedom. Most are struggling. Some have even had the opportunity to live their own career path, at least to make ends meet. Before capitalism in Africa, specifically Kenya, one way of barter trade or to be known to be wealthy or financial freedom was through wealth acquisition, many children, cattle, farmlands, and such. But that era is gone. At the current moment, the best you can do is to have money, power, connections, networks to catalyze you to the next stage. And so many have confused. Even some think of, I'd rather not go for a degree, let me utilize that money to start a business, at least to earn financial freedom. And the mistake that we have as majority is that acquiring your education, a degree, is a guarantee towards financial freedom. And from in the past 2 decades or so, and even presently, majority of our children are being taught, get your degree, you'll get your dream job, which is obnoxious in itself, since the reality on the ground and what we know while developing as children, as youth, are totally different. And it's a man-eat-man society where you have to fight to know the rules, to know before you play them by your own game. Before you develop your own game of finances, you need to learn and to relearn and to remove some of the belief that we had by ourselves. So I tend to believe education itself is a means, and as human beings we tend to prosper best in what you do and what you like. And by all mechanism, legislation, parental guidance, our environment, and friendship determines what kind of future progression you'll have in terms of financial dependence. If, let's say, you are lucky enough to have had parents, godfather, who are wealthy, they provide you a mechanism towards financial freedom, and you still pursue your academics to the highest level, then you're among the few lucky ones to have achieved both aspects of power: intellectual power, respect, being recognized as a scholar on one hand, and financial freedom and power, where you can grow your financial muscle step by step to your desired direction. Majority either pick one or two, either financial freedom first, then later intellectual or scholarly freedom. But in the current state of affairs, you rather have your degree, get yourself in a position of you can feed and have the basic needs before you progress to the next level, at least provision or survival as a youth. I'm not talking a position where you are at 40s, you know what your direction is, what you can change and what you cannot change. And taking that decision requires self-evaluation. Who you are, what you're best at, what you can do, while keeping in mind that your academics, your education Your certificates are just but one way to enable you to get to your financial freedom. They're not mutually exclusive, but at one point, if you so desire to get into public office or a certain position, then the papers become very much relevant, especially in my field, law. When you're going for positions such as Supreme Court, High Court, one of the basic requirements is for you to have undergone undergraduate in law in a recognized university and have an aggregate of 10 years experience in academic and litigation, or 15 years, or the aggregate of 15 years either in academic, scholarly, or through litigation at High Court and Supreme Court or Court of Appeal. This is a part of career development and financial freedom, whose core criteria is academics and experience. In such instance, you will have to undergo such teachings to get to the next level. Without that, you need to stick to one routine and decide. For such stage to reach, in majority of people, you want to get to that position when you are youth. Most probably you'll be at 40, 45, and the package is good. When you get a deal, such a position that require academic and its return value is probably for a judge that an estimate of 600,000 per month. That is minus any allowances on top of it. So that's a good deal that in return you get your opportunity cost for undertaking masters and PhD. When it comes to such certain areas of life that you need to elevate yourself, such as trading, stocks, market, basically there are things of finances that you need to grow. They don't require formal education by themselves. What you can do is go through apprenticeship, take risk, go out there, start saving, invest in a bank, invest in a company, go through central bank or a liaison bank to create an account and start trading step by step. It doesn't require much of a genius to tell you, put this amount, put that amount. And it does not require formal education as one aspect towards that financial freedom. What it requires is your assessment of what needs to be done and not to be done, and what time to put in your cash. Marketing, coding, they don't require formal education, but it's something that you can nurture with time and then start doing your coding as a side hustle, start getting your cash being generated. While you're concentrating with your career, at that moment you can, on the side hustle, on weekend, Saturday, Sunday, you can remain to be making money through coding, teaching language, translating, tour. These are slow by slow, ways to which you can make money without requiring direct formal education. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to stick yourself to masters, PhD, while your other areas of life are 10% improved out of 100, 20, 30% at 50. It's a progression, and you need to make a decision. If you can get a balance to still acquire your academic while also getting your financial muscle up and getting independence to it, that would be a well-to-do job. But at the end of it, you can bear me witness. For many who quote Bill Gates, Zuckerberg, and they validate themselves as to why they need to drop out. This guy had the education in place. They left to pursue their dream. Some dropped out to pursue their dreams. But remember, some had financial support from their parents, investors, angel investors. As you think of leaving your academic dropout to get financial independence, have you thought through a strategy to put you at a better place than were you still learning? And in the next 5 or 8 years, you are at a better position that you are presently at. Making a rash decision on unwell-researched information will put you in a place of hazard, if I may have to use that word. For Bill Gates' history, that one of their parents owned a company, the other was an advocate. A package was already there for him, and he already had a master plan of his business, knowing that if things go sour, I still stick to this, for good, for bad. And the realization of Microsoft did not come in one day. It's something that was built over time. Same to Facebook, same to Twitter. Amazon. A picture has been going around of Amazon CEO while starting at a small cubicle office space to the current giant it is. Are you willing to move out and have your strategy? Go with it. Later on, develop your team, trustworthy team, or whatever criteria you use for a team to bring on board. For then, to maintain financial freedom vis-a-vis formal education, but acquire certificates or other supplementary courses to whatever you're doing. Because at the end of the day, formal education is not the mother towards financial freedom. One needs to separate and differentiate the two, so that you don't remain stuck or regretting why you spend a lot of money while it hasn't matured to the financial freedom. Let's calculate before we end. On average, and this is specific to Africa, on Kenya, to US I know an individual can finish even the university at 17, but to a Kenyan, specifically on this context, most finish secondary at 18 years, await to be called at 19, a 1 year period outside without being enrolled to university. So during this 1 year period, you might be hustling 1 to 3 jobs, bringing in small money for upkeep or for your own personal use, depending on how you perceive it at that particular 19 years old age. At 20, you begin your higher education. To some, career path, you finish at 22, 23. For extended years careers such as medicine, engineers, law, you finish at 25, 26. At 26, lucky you, if you had a backup plan and financial savings, you immediately start your job. But if you start hustling, if you get a job immediately at 26 when you finish the university and graduate, you start your journey, career and financial realization. At this, you now need to get financial literacy as to whether you will save, invest in shares, business, circles or cooperatives. Now, for somebody who has gone out, graduated at 26, 24, and you're looking for a job, you don't have a backup plan at that particular moment. Neither can you start company because you lack the financial muscles to start. What will you do? The best option you have is to hustle to survive while looking for that career job, to facilitate you starting your job and saving up for your own company. Probably, let's say, at 26, you get a job at 27 or 28. At 24, you get a job at 26. Those are years spent amiss. no career development, no financial development. At 28 you start. Most likely for most guys or ladies, you're in a relationship or you have your child. How will you manage this? And for the harshness of the environment, so many legislation have found a way to curtail business development. Taxes, so many taxes, digital taxes this year, January, for most business operating online. Not even business, even for entertainment purposes, Netflix and such. Your rent, your business, your family. So how will you manage the career point of it and also the finances? And this is why I said earlier on, you need to have that literacy and to see at 28 you're starting your financial independence. In your own evaluation, is it worth to commence further studies, masters, or to continue getting financial independence rather than going for the masters? If you get the scholarship, that will be a different issue in itself, but you have to make a decision. Will you go for the intellectual power that you so dreamed, or the financial independence? At the end of the day, it's a choice. A choice of intellectual power, development, appreciation, being quoted, being referred to in judgments by scholars, on television by journalists, your articles being printed in the media, or a guru, tech guru, business guru, startup guru. Somebody can be relied on society, somebody to elevate your family to whatever dream, goal they need, and what they need to choose. You have to choose one. But if you get the opportunity to choose both intellectual power to continue masters and PhD while also having your financial muscles up without either being a burden to the other, then big up, continue with that. But in short, education is a means, it's not an end to financial freedom. So get financial literacy. Bye. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below.